Good morning, George. Today we're going to be doing Bach's Invention No. 4 at a slower pace so we can really study the finger positions to make it a lot easier to navigate through this piece. First, I'll play the piece slow, and then we'll go over certain crucial points in which we can more easily play through this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I just played up to the fourth line, so I know that was a little long, but I wanted to get the full motif down just in case this makes it so easy that you want to fly through it, and with this video you can. Now the first thing I'd like to address is the way we start, which we've already gone over in the lesson, but I will reiterate it now. We start in the fifth position. And by fifth position I mean fifth fret on your A string. Now this just goes with the D minor scale that we've already gone over many times, and it keeps showing itself in things because it's such a popular shape, and it's very easy to use in linear music such as Bach inventions. And it has a hint of harmonic minor, which means we are sharpening or raising the seventh note of the scale, which in this case would be C, and we're going to raise that C to C sharp. That color would otherwise be this in a natural minor scale. But to give it that extra ounce of tension and pull towards the root, we are going to sharpen that note, so it's going to be a major 7. On a minor scale. And that holds us through until it actually holds us all the way until halfway through the second line. But the first real point that I want to go over is in the fourth measure. Now, our notes are G, C sharp, and E. And this is a great opportunity since we're using our fingers, and notice how I use my fingers throughout the whole piece for you, because this is very crucial to the style, especially using the fingers on the classical guitar. So up until the fourth measure, our thumb will be resting on the low E string because we do not use it, and we will be using P and I. Not P and I and M. Which will be a walking motion. So you can think of it as walking on the string. And this is a good way to practice our scales. And the whole time my hand stayed right on the E string. Sorry that there's a glare from the sun right now, but it is on the E string for that whole point. But when we come to the fourth measure, so it's right after where my thumb is positioned on the low E, and my fingers are going to be playing middle, index, middle. At this point, we have the opportunity because the rest of the notes at this point are going to be on the top 4 strings. We have the opportunity at this point to actually move our thumb to the A string. So now, for the whole duration of this next passage, our thumb is going to be resting on the A string. And so on. And this gives us more stability, a more full tone, and much more control over our notes and allowing them to ring out. So I'll do the transition very slowly, and you can watch my right hand specifically. So I'll play from the first measure to the fourth measure, very slow. 1, 2, 3. Switch. Switch. One more time. I kind of mucked that up a little bit. Switch. And so now my hand is here. And you can switch when your hand goes to that D in the third measure, which is the last note on the third measure. And so because they're staccato, it makes it really easy to switch without having to worry about string ringing or anything else like that. Let's see. The other thing that I want to emphasize throughout the rest of the piece is the concept of string skipping. Once we get up and our thumb is now on the A string, we repeat the motif. It's really important for us to see the separate lines that are going on right now. The motif in this is well, after the first theme, which is what we hear in the very first part, it then goes. Now, all throughout this, those notes that I was emphasizing with my wide eyes was signifying the ones that we want to highlight. When we see this pattern, it'll be much easier, and that pattern is. So when you look at all the notes starting in the 8th measure, you'll see that it is the first note is B flat on the 8th measure. The second note in the 9th measure is going to be A, and then the the first note, or the only note I should say, in the 12th measure is going to be G. That's a downward bass motion, and once we figure that out, it'll be much easier because all those strings are on our D string. So while we're doing this, when we figure out that we have to hop down, we can mark this in our head and know that, and already know before we play it, what the next note will be. Mind you, all these notes are in the minor scale as well. So we're not doing anything out of the ordinary of what we already know. So again, I'm going to play from the 5th measure, and I'm going to emphasize the notes, and then we'll talk about the lead line. And then it even goes further, which goes down to the next note in the minor scale. So really we have B flat, A, G, and then F, major scale. The only other thing I want to emphasize in this video to help you understand a little better is that the same motif happens, except it just goes down a note each time. Where we start off with um, and then so on and so on. And this is what this is what I call staircase. And basically, it just means you start at the top note and you bring it down stepwise each time. So it's the same thing. So, for example, another staircase motif, if we were using the D minor scale, would be something like. And really, what that was is it was B flat, A, G, F. Then we start not on the B flat, but the A and F. So A, G, F, E. And then the next one would be G, F, E, D. And it can go up too. So all these things, once we figure out the concept of these Baroque times, which are all very common and very intertwined, it'll make the piece a lot easier for us to navigate. I hope this helps in your studies with this, and I hope the improvisation is going very well. And please use these concepts in improvising. It'll spark something in you as well. Enjoy the week. Happy 4th of July, and we'll see you for the next one. Take care, George.